Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Hoagland. I am the Executive Director of Development for the Gold Prospectors Association of America. But more importantly for this video, I am a 50+ year prospector and miner that has traveled all around the world in search for and finding gold. And I've dedicated the last 25+ years of my life in helping people realize their dream of finding their first gold. Gold is an amazing metal. It's something that is eternal. It's been here since the very beginning of this planet, and it'll be here long after we're all gone. My passion for gold started when I was just a little kid, and I had a prospector show me gold in a gold pan, and it was just absolutely amazing. And that really fueled my fire. Over the last 25 years, I've seen a huge amount of people that have just had the desire to go prospecting, and some of them quit, mainly because they were either oversold or undersold their equipment. I've met with brand new prospectors that had stuff that I looked at and I didn't even know what it was. It's not anything that I would carry around with me. I've also met with a lot of prospectors that were absolutely way undersold. They were sold a pan that was really not designed for somebody that's new to prospecting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a kit that I put together, and it's not based on you being a newcomer to gold prospecting. It's based on the equipment that I carry with me every day. It's stuff that's in my rig, it's in my truck, it's in my kit boxes. It's everything that I use when I'm out in the field, when I'm out gold panning or just prospecting. And with this kit, I'm going to answer two very important questions that I am asked all the time. The first one is, what do I need to get started? That's right here. The next one is, where do I go? And that's all about a GPAA membership. All right, let's get started. So in your kit, you're going to find the GPAA mining guide. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Now, here's the tools. And really, this is what you need. There's only 3 things that you're going to have to add to this kit: a 5-gallon bucket or 2, a shovel, and your desire. That's it. Everything else, I've got you covered. I'm not going to go through a lot of detail on all of these pans. So this is more just to introduce you to the kit. Believe me, I've got a lot of videos that will teach you how to take your 14-inch gold catcher gold pan or any gold pan and season it up to where it's not going to be a catch and release. Our gold pans are about catch and keep, not catch and release. All right, so let's start out. Now, I started out with a metal gold pan, an old rusted gold pan, and I love that thing because the rust was in there and it helped capture the gold and so on like that. But you know, it had a lot of downfalls. It wasn't easy to work. I learned on that. I'm not going to recommend anybody do that in this day and age. And when the first plastic pans started coming out, I grabbed one of them, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it in the long run because all it had were just little ridges, just a few little ribs all the way around the gold pan, which is great if you're really good at gold panning. It didn't bother me that much, but I tell you what, put that in the hands of a brand new prospector and they're going to struggle with it. And unfortunately, that's part of the underselling that I talk about, is that a lot of folks are sold that pan because it's inexpensive, but it's not a very good pan for a beginner. So this is the Gold Catcher Gold Pan. This is one of my all-time favorites. Now, this was designed and developed by our founder, George Buzzard Massey, and I got to tell you, this is one of my go-to pans. I always have this pan with me. Now, what makes this pan very, very unique is that it does have very deep cut riffles in it. And those riffles are what hold your gold. It takes a little while to get used to it when you're panning it, but believe me, it's a lot easier and a lot better for you in the long run. Also has a very, very wide bottom. Now, there's a lot of pans that have a lot of riffles and a smaller bottom, and some that have a really big bottom and just a few riffles. This to me has always been the perfect, it's been the perfect pan for almost all of my panning. And when I say almost all my panning, I have to include the 11-inch Gold Catcher gold pan. Now, this is the same pan, only made a whole lot smaller. It's got 3 riffles in it and a smaller bottom. And I don't necessarily use this pan for anything other than finish panning. And finish panning is the act of getting all of your concentrates, your final concentrates with a little bit of black sand and your gold in it, and get it in there and breaking it all down. So my main use for this is as a finish pan. But I'll tell you what, I know a lot of folks that have smaller hands or kids that use this pan as their main pan, and they're very successful with it. So I don't only recommend this pan, this is a pan that I always have in my kit. Unfortunately, my pans are pretty beat up. Maybe it's time to get some new ones. The next item in my kit is a classifier. Now, classifiers are designed to take big material and make it small material, so it makes it easier to work. When you're panning, you don't want to have all the big rocks and everything else in your gold pan. You want to get all that stuff out. So I started out with a 1-inch classifier base, and then I'm going to add in your kit the 1/2-inch classifier. The 1/2-inch will get you down to most of your gold, and it gives you the ability to really work the material and not have to deal with a lot of big rocks and so on and so like that. I will make a suggestion to you. Every time you dump this, before you dump it, go through it and make sure that there's not a great big nugget that wouldn't go through the classifier. And I will suggest also that at the end of the day, you go through your tailing pile. The tailing pile is the material that comes out of your classifier, goes down on the ground that you're going to put back into the hole. So those are 3 of the items. The next one is the scoop. Now, the scoop is like the Swiss Army knife of gold prospecting. And we developed the scoop a few years ago. It's got this serrated edge, which makes it very good for getting into tight places. And it's got a good design to it that really allows you to get some leverage on it. And I'm not going to say use it as a pry bar, because it's not a pry bar. It's a plastic scoop. But it is a great tool and something you will go to all the time. Next is a snuffer bottle. This is the vacuum cleaner of your gold pan. What you'll do is, after you've panned your material and you've got it down to all your concentrates and it's in the snuffer bottle, and you put that, and you take the concentrates and you dump them back into your gold pan. Now you're going to go through and you're going to do your finish panning, which is just a matter of just slowly going through and removing and moving the black sand around. I got a video on that one as well. And then you'll snuff up just the gold into your snuffer bottle and you'll have clean gold. Now, to help you get all of that to that point, here's a tool that is indispensable, and it is a panning magnet. Now, there's an old saying, wherever there's gold, there's black sand. That black sand is iron, magnet, iron. Gold is non-magnetic. But when you use a magnet, there's one thing I'm always going to recommend, is that you make sure you've got some water in your pan. And what you're going to do is you're going to just press down on the magnet. You're going to run it across just right below the surface. You don't want to put it down on the pan. You just want it right below the surface, and you're going to remove those magnetics. But before you pull it out of the pan, tilt your pan a little bit, get that magnet into the water, and rinse it off a little bit. Gold is non-magnetic, but it could get trapped in between a few particles of that magnetic black sand, and what you'll do is end up getting rid of it. Now, I know a lot of people that save all their black sand. If I'm working Alaska stuff, I will always save my black sands. I've gone through black sands 10, 15, 20 times and still found more gold. It's just a matter of how much time I'm willing to put that particular day. That's it. That's all you need to get started. You don't need any whiz bangs. You don't need this or that. But you don't want to start out with just an inferior pan. You want to start out with something that is proven. And quite frankly, for me, it's something that I carry with me all the time. And I will reiterate that over and over and over. If you ever run into me in the field, ask me to see my panning kit, and you're going to see everything that you see right here in my kit. Now, again, I've got a lot of videos on the Gold Prospectors Association of America YouTube page, and I'm going to suggest that you go in and take a look at those videos. The one that I want you to start with is about seasoning your gold pan. These things are made out of plastic, which means that they've got a releasing agent. And the only thing that'll make gold float is oil. And that releasing agent, unfortunately, is oil. But it's very easy to get out of the pan. You don't have to worry about it after that. Now, I put this kit together very specifically, and I included a GPAA 2-year membership. The reason I put together a 2-year membership is so it gives you an opportunity to get at least 6 copies of the Gold Prospectors magazine in your first year. That in every edition of the Gold Prospectors magazine, it is loaded full of tips and tricks and information. I've got an article that I write called Where's the Gold? It's in every magazine. It's one of the most popular articles. I do it not to trip people up, but I do it because I want you to learn. It's pretty tough. I've got seasoned prospectors that every time I see them, they tell me I didn't get it on the first time. But what I learned, I've put into work. So for the first year, whether you get out or not, you're going to have 6 issues of the GPAA magazine. You also get the GPAA mining guide. Now, this mining guide has all of the GPAA claims listed, along with pay-to digs and open areas and just places of interest that are of interest to a prospector. So It is a great tool. Now, when I first started prospecting, I asked the same two questions. What do I need and where do I go? Now, I'd watched enough old Westerns to know that you just don't go out and start prospecting somewhere, because you might be on somebody's claim. And mining on somebody else's claim is federally illegal. As a member of the GPAA, you've got tens of thousands of acres where you can go prospect, where these claims are for our members. And that is a benefit of your GPAA membership. That is the GPAA printed mining guide. You also have access as a member to the GPAA online mining guide. Now, the online mining guide doesn't have as much information in it as far as like GPS corners of all the corners of a claim or all of the markers. It comes with center of claim and ingress. On my last Gold Trails journey, I purposely left my mining guide at home, and I only used the online mining guide to go to all the claims where I was meeting up with members and we were prospecting and learning more about the ground and about the claims. So that to me is a great tool. Another thing about the online mining guide is that it's crowdsourced by other members. So when you go to the online mining guide, log on to your account, you will be able to see very up-to-date reports of what other members are doing on those properties. And that is a great tool. We don't print this thing every month, so having the online mining guide is an incredible tool that is at your disposal to be able to go in, find the center of claim, find the ingress, and more importantly, read what other members are finding. As I shared in the beginning, I put this kit together very specifically for somebody brand new to prospecting. And the reason why is I wanted to answer those two questions. What do I need to get started, and where do I go? So there's the tools. Again, the only thing you need to add, a 5-gallon bucket, a shovel, and your desire to get out and go find some gold. And once you find your first gold, you're going to be hooked. I know I was. So that's it. That's my kit. It's the same tools I use if you ever run into me in the field, and I hope you do. Matter of fact, I hope that I am there when you are out on your first prospecting adventure and you find your very first gold. And I'm going to toss in a special bonus. I host Gold Trails. Gold Trails is where I go out on the GPAA claims with GPAA members and their invited guests, and we look at the ground. I teach people how to look at the ground differently, and it's prospectors from all levels, people that have never had a gold pan in their hand to some of the greatest experts that I've ever met. And we all work together on looking at the ground, seeing where the gold is, finding those trends, and then following that gold and recovering that gold throughout the 2-day events that I'm having. And I invite you to go to goldtrails.com, go down to the bottom, look at my schedule, and if there is a Gold Trails that is going to be in your area, please sign up. Sign up and come out with us. It doesn't cost anything. It's a benefit of being a GPA member. All you have to do is sign up, show up, bring your gear, bring your book, because you'll probably want to put a few notes in there. Years ago, sitting around the campfire with our founder, George Buzzard Massey, he was talking to a group of us, and he made a remark. He said, look, guys, there's only 3 things that I want you to do. I want you to make sure that we always have property for our members to prospect, have community on, and experience camaraderie. We do that with the GPA claims, and we also do that through local GPA chapters. He said the next thing is I want you to make sure that we're always able to inform our membership to the very best of our ability of what we're doing. We've got that one covered as well. The Gold Prospectors Magazine, the online mining guide, the GPAA website, all of those are there to help you become a better prospector. And the very last thing that he said, and the one thing he looked me dead in the eye when he said it, and it just has resonated with me since that day, I want you to always be a member helping another member. Members helping members become a better prospector. And that is why I've dedicated so much of my time and so much of my energy in helping you become a prospector. All right, gang, I hope to see you out there in the field, and I hope that I am there when you find your very first gold. So until the next time, go watch some of the videos over at the Gold Prospectors Association of America YouTube. Join. Let's get you out there and get you on some gold.